This video is very long. We all know that everyone needs a hero, or at least someone to look up to. I spoke with 3 young creators that I wanted to learn about their process. I also reflected on my own to see where I was at compared to them. I'm here with Kenny Shaw. Welcome, Kenny.
How you guys doing?
Kenny is an artist slash producer. He's most commonly known for his music on SoundCloud. Right now, we'll get some of that going in the background. You're probably hearing that right now.
Yeah.
So he's a young creator like myself. Bring him in, ask him a few questions about what he does, see how it's similar or different. So yeah, we'll start right now.
Ever since I was a kid, I used to listen to Eminem and Logic and all these other artists I really aspired to be like. Not having a father figure around my house was I saw these rappers and I was like, wow, they're really good at this, and their music is so good, has so much passion, and I was like, I want to be just like that. And it kind of made me think, oh, if I could do that, I could make a change like I did in myself. I could change other kids' lives too.
So you rap about things you see or that you want to see, or
yeah, see that you want to see, even sometimes that you struggle with in your head, like anxiety, depression, whether it was the anger, anything really that even that other people can deal with that you may not deal with, that you write about and make about, just other people that struggle with depression, stuff that I do too, and help people that struggle with what I do and help them.
Okay, so when you get these ideas for songs or something, or just beats, what starts, how do you make that?
It kind of just clicks. It's a flow kind of. So I'll be thinking of a song, and it just pops in my head. I'll see something, I'll hear something, someone say something, anything like that, and it'll just click. It just clicks,
yeah.
And I start writing himself. It doesn't even have to be you don't even have to write a rap. It can be ideas that you write down.
Yeah, I get that too. When I'm making videos, I find I go I can write a million things in 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's mostly the most random things that you think of. It's crazy, but for example, it'd be snowing outside, you'd be thinking something really cold and depressing, and anything can just click in your head, and it just keeps going, you keep writing, or something like that.
So then when you write, we talked about you wanted to talk about what's going on and what you see, and then is there something maybe you want to teach people about stuff that you experience that maybe they don't see, or what do you want to do with your music?
With my music, I really just have fun with it. That's the number one thing that I've always wanted to do, is make sure I have fun with music. If I'm not having fun, I don't know what I'm doing. That's something I've always liked. So it's number one thing is have fun. Another thing is just help other people, like you said, with stuff that I've gone through, how to handle your depression and where to go with it, and how to use that depression as fuel to use other things, or anger to use that as fuel, to work harder for something that you really want, school, stuff like that, and don't use it in a bad way, and don't use drugs, don't do other things that could really make your depression worse or your anger worse.
All right. So is there stuff like that you might want to write about and that hasn't really worked out, or you you said you haven't been able to get that flow for it?
At times, yeah, it is like that. Sometimes it's just you think it, and it's hard to explain. Sometimes you just now I have this idea of what I just went through. If I just saw someone really go through something, or if that's in my family, or I'm thinking of my father, and I write that down. It can flow, but it doesn't always come out right. So when I'm making it in the process, it could come out wrong, or it just doesn't sound good. So it's a really big process. It takes a very long time. So with these songs that are harder to make, a lot of people think music is just you write it down, you write a rap about it, you find a beat, and you slap it all together. It's not just like that. It's doing the verses over and over and make sure it sounds pitch perfect, and the hard work that comes with it is just unimaginable at times. A lot of people think college is hard, but music is hard too.
Right. So the process you talked about, you get the idea, and then you write it, and then sort of what happens after that? How does that all work out?
It really just starts with writing, and I think what comes first is the ideas for the lyrics on a rapper or a musician side. On a producer side, it's you get that feeling, and you're I want to make this kind of beat today, and you just kind of lay down the keys. That's how it really begins for me. I have an electronic keyboard at home, or a beat sampler or something, and I just lay down the keys and start hearing what I have for that pitch or that melody, and it just keeps going from there. It's kind of like that it's like a creative process that comes with it. It's hard to explain because not all people understand, but just like it kind of clicks in your head. At least me for music, I just like hear that melody and like, oh, I could go somewhere with that, and I keep going with it, and I add stuff to it, and it sounds better. As a writing standpoint, it just like you write down a couple things, you're like, okay, that sounds good, or like for a rap or like a flow that you get in a song, you're like writing and you're like, oh, and you keep going with that kind of flow. Right. It just kind of all matches together. And with the writing process, it's you write down your idea. At least for me, some people do it differently. It's freestyle. I don't know how people go. Sometimes I freestyle it, but sometimes I write, and it's not even a rap. It's just me writing down like a paragraph of how I feel, and then that all comes into a rap, and I rhyme it, and I add stanzas and stuff like that, and hooks to it, and a bunch of other stuff that can like match the bars, and they can make it like a 16-bar verse or like a hook.
Okay, so when you finish a project or a song or an album, I don't know that much. What do you like do with it?
Usually I listen to it a lot. Even if I don't like it with the way it sounds, I listen to it and look for stuff that could become better and that could be better in it, or stuff I could go back and add and make it even better. Because that's the thing with music, it's not just, I just made this, I'm going to go publish it. It's, I have to listen to it over and over, I have to hear it, I have to know, will it be good, will it be bad, how will people like this, how will people deal with this, how will people talk about it, how like will it go. Also with like albums and stuff, it's hard. Sometimes I send it to people, and they're just like, what do you think of this? Do you like any of the tracks? Do you want to hop on a track? Do you want to help me with anything here? Do you think anything can go better? And usually people just tell me that. I do have like people that are like other producers, so like you could do this better, or you could do this better. Don't drop it yet. Hype it up, then drop it. It's all like a big process of about years at times. For me, it's like about 3 months to take one, but for people, it's years.
So when you just said you sometimes send it out to people to see like what they think about it. Once that's done and you know you finally put it out in the public, what do you find that people's like what do people generally react? Like how do they come up to you or say stuff to you like?
Usually I'll drop it and I'll put it on like another social media platform. That's a good way to get your music out, a good way to get your content out. I'll put it on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, anything where I can really get it out. And people usually text me, they'll be like, oh, hey, I like this, or like, hey, you could have done this better. It is good to get positive comments. Sometimes it's even better to get negative comments to see what I could do better. One thing I don't like is like the super negative, where it's like, oh, this is pure trash, and they don't give you anything to help you. I hate that. At least if you're going to be negative, tell me what's bad about it, or just tell me, hey, you're trash. That doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I tell everybody, like, I'm not going to tell you that your stuff's trash, I'm going to tell you that it's trash, but here's what you need to work on, here's what I think could have went better.
Of course, you talked about Logic and Eminem like earlier, and is the lure of making it big like that something that like sort of not like influences, but like maybe adds a little more drive to do what you do?
Eminem certainly does, because knowing like I'm sure most people that will watch this, or some people that will watch this, will know like the drive that Eminem had, and like how he started as a rapper, and how like his process, and like how every single person almost doubted him and hated him. I kind of use that as fuel, and I look at that, and like the more people that hate me, gives me more of a reason to try harder and prove them wrong. Gives me another reason not to never give up. So it's mostly like the haters will drive me and give me more of that fuel that I need to keep that engine going.
That was Kenny Shaw. Go follow him on SoundCloud. What's the official account name now? You going by Young K still, or?
I go by YK.
Kenny. Thank you.
One more thing. Not all rappers are bad. They do good. Just remember that.
All right, my next guest is Paige Padilla. She's a photographer. What made you want to start taking pictures?
My stepdad's always taken pictures, and he's into photography, so it's kind of influenced me, and I've grown up around it. And it's kind of a way for me to ease my mind after a hard day or something, and it's kind of like a relaxation kind of thing.
Why do you take pictures?
I find a lot of beauty within mostly nature and people, so that's mostly what I focus on my pictures with. And I've wanted to always like kind of travel more to like places like New York City where there's a lot of hustle and bustle, and kind of capture a certain moment like within a person, I guess, and just like I like sunsets and beaches and natural beauty.
So like with pictures, you get like one moment, whereas like a video, like you know what I mean, like the one moment part intrigues you more than maybe seeing, or maybe not more, just in a different way. Like you know
Yeah,
what
I
mean?
think pictures just capture a certain moment, and it's like time stands still, and it's something that you can keep forever, that no one can kind of take away from you, and it's just a moment that's always there, it's always in your memory.
So when you go to take pictures, is it something where it's like, I'm going to take pictures today, or do you see something you're like, oh, I should take a picture of that? Like, how does that work?
It's a little bit of both. If I know I'm going somewhere where I'm going to be surrounded by things that are going to intrigue me, I bring a camera and I kind of look for certain things, and at the same time, I might just see something and I want to remember that moment forever, or stuff like that.
Is there any like techniques that you know of or that you use while you're taking pictures, or is it sort of like you try to get all of what you're seeing?
For the most part, I try to get all of what I'm seeing, and half the time, a camera can't even begin to capture some moments. Like, it's just like too great, and the camera can't even capture a perfect moment. But for the most part, I try to get all of it, like I said. And I mean, there's definitely some pictures where you have to take a certain angle, or maybe get like an action shot.
Right. So like I talked about, some people earlier try and show like moods. Have you ever like looked into doing that? Like, I don't know, I wouldn't know how to get mood in a photo, so like.
So like that kind of wraps back around to like the people thing. Like, if you're in the city and you see somebody, you can capture them doing something, and it becomes like automatically just like really personal, and you can kind of gain a sense of what they're like in a sense. Or like nature, just some people just get a certain feeling when they see a certain sky, and that's kind of what I aim for, and that's how I like to feel when I look at other work.
So like in this picture, alright, when and where was this, if you remember?
That was at a playground that we brought my sister to, and it was a while ago, so it's not one of my best pieces, but I really like it. So.
This one is of a hot air balloon, obviously.
Yes.
Was there anything special in that, like what sort of caught your eye for that, or?
So that was like just a special day with my family. We went out, and it's kind of like also just the memory behind it. Like,
Right.
I'll always remember that day, and I just liked the picture. It was good.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you forget a lot of what happens in your life, and then if you go back and look at pictures from that year, you sort of remember things that you might have forgot. So.
Exactly.
So, I know you're not really public about your work, but how do people generally, when you show them, like, how do they react to it?
Well, my mother's probably my biggest fan.
That's important.
But a lot of people just genuinely like my work. I'm pretty sure Miss Flood has asked me to like print some stuff or put some stuff in the paw print before, and my photography teacher, when she was here, she really liked my work, and she told me that like it kind of inspired her and just put her in a better mood.
So, with being public about it, you've probably seen online like famous photographers. I probably couldn't name any, but like the lure of being famous for doing something like that, is that something that like interests you and like makes you want to do it more?
I have definitely considered going into that field as a profession, like when I'm older, and like possibly starting my own business or something. But as of right now, maybe not so much. It's kind of just a hobby, I guess, outside of school and stuff.
Well, that's a point of being a young creator, as I'm calling us, is there's a whole lot to do still.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Paige Padilla, everyone. My next guest is Adam Salerno, a video creator, I guess you could say.
Sure.
All right, and we got the wardrobe change and the location change because we're doing a different day. The other space wasn't available, so yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So,
What made you want to become a creator?
okay, so being like a kid that does like theater and stuff like that, you know, you're always trying to get people to be happy and trying to get them to laugh and like give them like entertainment. And so I always like had the image I was going to go into like acting. I wanted to go into like doing movies and stuff like that. And then I saw I'd always watch YouTube and I'd always see how much fun it looks and how much I love what people did with it. And I didn't realize that like it's actually like a career and people actually do that for a living, you know. So I decided I'd try it just kind of for fun, and it seemed that people like kind of enjoyed it and they found it funny and they got happy because of it, and that that kind of encouraged me to keep going. So I kind of just did it because theater's been like such my past, you know. I just kind of decided to do it now.
So the aim of your content would be generally just to entertain?
Right, it's basically to entertain. It's basically to make people happy. It's to give people like some time to like dial down from like if they're stressed or something. It's like a perfect time to like go to like the channel and just like look at a video. Because usually like when I'm doing when I'm like really stressed out or I'm like doing something, like I always just will go to YouTube and I'll watch my favorite people for 10 minutes and it'll make me like really happy, and I'll like kind of like slow down from like all the stress that I have, and I'll kind of like relax for a minute. And so I kind of want to do that for other people, and it's kind of easier like for doing it for people at like our school and stuff because everybody knows me, so they know like what I do and like how, you know, what my aim is. So so that was like the main reason why I like to make the videos, to entertain people, to kind of like make them happy, you know, just to get them to laugh. Yeah.
So when you want to make people laugh, like how do the ideas for the videos like come into your head?
Well, you know, challenges are something that goes around like every YouTube channel. Everybody does challenges, so I started like doing challenges and stuff like that. Like that had a lot of inspiration. I'll see like what people did, how they did it, and I'll like go off that. But you know, my family is really crazy, and I usually like will think of an idea or something that happens in my life, like I'll have like a New Year resolution that's very popular, people do, and I'll think of like what really happens during that. I'll make a video out of it, like being home alone, like what really happens, you know. So it's kind of like just like a way in my life of like how I picture stuff, and I make it into a video for other people to see. Really.
Right. So when you think of an idea, I was like talking to Kenny and Pete before this, and Kenny writes the music, and he and I were, you know, relating on the part where once you start to get an idea, and I don't know if you write your ideas or type them, like I type mine for the outline.
Right.
And once I start going, like it's sort of just like instantly, it's just like
usually like it's usually like a time. It's always late at night when I always get my best video ideas, and it's usually what happens is I'll just be in bed and I'll think of like the main idea and I'll just write it down in my notes or something, and then it'll just start coming. I'll just like start going crazy like with my notes, and then the next day or something I'll like whip out the camera and I'll just start filming with it.
So when you said that people at school generally like your videos, what is the overall response to your
everybody seems very like positive towards it, because you know, like not a lot of people, because there's like not a lot of people that do this stuff like that, so I think it's kind of nice how people are kind of respect, you know, somebody going out there and trying something new, you know, because everybody does the same thing. Everybody does sports, everybody does this, you know. It's kind of nice for somebody like to kind of go out of like the comfort zone and try something new for other people to, you know, to like. So it's mainly been positive, but of course you're gonna have the criticism. You're always gonna have people saying that it's not that funny, that you need better videos, you should do this, and that happens everywhere. It's not at school, it's with my family, it's like with everything, you know. You're never gonna have a video that's gonna top every single audience. So I always try to make videos that always will appeal to different people, because I'm still like experimenting. I'm not big enough to like do certain things each week. So I'm just kind of like experimenting with the people I have right now who watch my videos every week, and seeing what is more popular than others, and seeing what to stick with and what to leave out.
So with like not negative criticism, but criticism where instead of someone just says, oh hey, your videos suck, if they were like, this was good and then this is something you could do better, is that like more appreciated?
No, I consider everything people say about my videos. I consider if you thought it was funny, I consider if you thought it was not funny, I consider if you made it a thumbs up, or I consider if you gave it a thumbs down. I always consider everything that you will give into my videos, mainly for myself, not really for the people out, you know, the people out there. Because if somebody doesn't like something, I don't want to put it up and have somebody be upset about it. So I always try to like find something in the middle that will kind of get everybody to somewhat like it, more than just having some people really really like it and then some people hate it. You know what I mean?
So another question I have is, I didn't give you this one ahead of time, but there's like, you see people getting really popular off this stuff, like we mentioned earlier. Is that like something that sort of either drives you to make more content, or the lure of becoming famous off
Right.
of this sort of thing? Is that something that you think of?
Not when I first started. When I first started, I honestly just did it because, well, I had a thing with my mom, and we always did stuff together and out in public and stuff, and people really seemed to enjoy it. So I just put it up on YouTube as just a joke, to see what people thought about it, and people seemed to really like it. So at some point in my life, I do hope I can get up there at some point, but I don't. But now, not a lot of people are gonna subscribe to this 15-year-old kid that's not that big, So I just kind of right now I'm just striving to get more people that enjoy who I am right now, because and then in a couple of years when I already have something started, people can kind of go off that and see what I've done in the past. So yeah, I hope one day I can make it up to something that big. So that'd just be really nice and cool. It's something I really want to go for in life. And then but it's just something that you just got. It's just a goal.
You can't control it.
Right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Alright guys, so the reason that I make videos, it started off as me wanting to make a sort of documentary film class for my school so I can make videos and get credit for it. And then it sort of evolved into this journalism class. Basically I just contacted my school, I said, hey, I'm interested in doing this. So we sort of figured out what we could do, and we took the journalism guidelines for the New York State Department of Education so that I could actually get school credit for this. And instead of writing, I basically did a bunch of videos. I didn't publish all my videos to my YouTube channel because some of them I didn't think were good enough for what I wanted to be producing. But I'm hopefully slowly working towards continuing these projects after this course is done. It ends in a couple weeks when the semester ends. But that's basically how I got into this sort of filmmaking. My aim has been mainly to educate people about, I'll see something going on and I'll say, oh, I could help explain this issue so that some people, I guess, understand it more and can go about the right way of handling it more. And I've always tried to be really credible and do all my research ahead of time. And I spend, I don't know, 5 to 6 hours on each project just doing research so that I can make sure it's all good. And educating people about issues that are easily educatable, I guess you could say, is one of the big things that inspired me to start making content like this. So Adam and I make the same type of content, but his is more to entertain and mine is to entertain, I guess, in the same way, but you also learn something. My creative process is pretty simple. I have a list on my phone. I come up with a bunch of ideas as I think of them and I just write them down. And sometimes if I have spare time, I'll sort of look at the list and see what ones I can think more in depth into. And then I'll bring them onto my laptop and I'll write out a nice big outline and everything. And it's sort of just like Kenny and Adam, it just flows. It's just an instant sort of thing where within an hour I can have an outline, a pretty decent outline. And then like I said, I go and I do that research for whatever I need. And then after that, I fine-tune the outline and I'm all ready to shoot. I come in and I set my camera up, talk to the camera for about 20-30 minutes and edit it down into about a 10-minute video. For editing my films, I just take them onto the computer and I sort of edit them. And once I think I'm done, I watch the whole video through and I write down on a little piece of paper the times and what things I need to change when, so I can go back and make them a little better. You probably notice a bunch of mistakes in all of my videos. I know I do all the time. I can't catch them all right away, and people often point them out to me. Response to my videos have been pretty good. I think most of the people like them, and after this course, I aim to sort of get into more controversial topics. I think that's going to bring up more discussion and maybe make my content a little more entertaining and educating, hopefully. I want people to be able to have a discussion with me. I don't, maybe in the comments, maybe I bring someone on, have a talk with them about a certain issue. I don't really know. We'll see where it comes. But oftentimes I see something and I'm just like, I need to explain this, and it's hard to do that, just online with a real simple text or something like that. And the lure of fame is definitely something that I've taken into consideration. But right now for my little school, I have like 300 kids in my high school. A lot of the issues and stuff I make is centered around things that I think by educating my peers about, I think it's something that they can benefit from watching my videos and learning stuff, and also I can benefit from it because I can maybe teach myself the right way to do something in the process and then pass it on.